Welcome back once again to Tuesday Talks for May 17th, 2021. So glad you could take a few moments this week to watch this. How many times today already, or how many times in a week, or in a month, or in a year, do you think you spend looking into a mirror? How many times a day do you find a mirror or a reflection on a window or a quick glance as you're getting in or out of the car, or other places that you can see reflection? How many times a day, a week, a month do you think you spend looking at yourself in a mirror? 99% of the bathrooms I've ever been into have a mirror. The bathrooms in my home have a mirror. Usually within the first few minutes of waking up in the morning, I am in front of the mirror. Usually the last thing I do before I go to bed is something in front of the mirror. When I get dressed to go out for the day, I usually check myself in a mirror. We've got mirrors in our bathroom. We've got a longer mirror in our bedroom that you can see yourself from head to toe. We check ourselves to make sure that we look presentable. We look like we have it together. Is anything wrinkled? Does everything look straight? Does it fit? Does it match? Does it look like I want it to be presentable when I walk out of my house? And so we do these things, and we spend time in the mirror. Some more than others, obviously. On average, I would say women probably spend more time in the mirror than men, but I do know some men that probably spend more time in the mirror than women. But we do spend time in front of a mirror trying to make ourselves presentable, trying to make sure that our hair's in place and that things are properly together. And we do these things on a regular basis. And because why? We can't see ourselves. We have no ability to pull our eyeballs out and spin them around and look back at ourselves. So we don't see what we look like. I don't know how you are, but I don't really like watching myself on videos. Over the last year of doing so much video work because of the pandemic and being virtual like we are, I feel like I spend so much time looking at myself, and it has been very humbling because I don't really like looking at myself because I don't really see myself. And so when the way in my mind, so I see myself in the video and I'm like, that's really what I look like. And God forbid I listen to my voice and how it sounds, because how it sounds just drives me crazy. And so if I listen to my voice too much, it gets in my head and I try to change it. And I don't like that. You see pictures of yourself. Maybe someone taps, some of you just love taking pictures of yourself. God bless you, but I'm not one of those. I don't really like pictures of myself because I'm kind of disappointed what I see in the picture. Very rarely do you ever take a picture of me and I go, wow, that's a great picture. Very rarely. Maybe a few, but not often. So I spend time in the mirror trying to make myself look presentable because I can't see what others see. I can't see myself. So I need an outside source to be the reflection of my image. I want to be able to see myself. I want to be able to make sure that my hair is in the right position. I look presentable. There's nothing on my face. A lot of times I can, when I eat, I get something. My wife says, go check the mirror. You got something on your face. And I'll go in and I go, I didn't even know. I couldn't feel it. Couldn't see it. But the mirror says it's there. Now, apparently there are different types of mirrors. If you ask a woman, they'll tell you there are good mirrors and bad mirrors. There are mirrors that make you look wide, mirrors that make you look tall, mirrors that make you look different than what you think. And so women probably know good mirrors or bad mirrors. But in reality, and in most cases, we don't really argue with a mirror. When you look at the mirror in your bathroom today, when you have got up, or maybe when you go to bed later this evening and you're looking in that mirror, how many of you are going to argue back with that mirror and go, that's not what I look like? This mirror is terrible. This mirror is a lie. Something's wrong with this mirror. You know what I'm going to do? When I get up tomorrow, I'm going to go buy a new mirror because if I change the mirror, it's going to change the way I look. We know that's not the case. We know whether we like it or not, whether it's something that we agree with or not, that mirror is reflecting back to us what we really are like. It's not the mirror that needs to change. We have to change. If my hair is not combed properly, I don't go, what's wrong with that mirror? My hair is perfect. I go, wow, the mirror says my hair is out of place. I want to make sure I get it put back together. If I have spaghetti sauce on me, ketchup on me from my dinner, I don't go to the mirror and go, what's wrong with that mirror? How dare it tell me that I have ketchup on my face? No, I don't do that. I go, wow, there's ketchup on my face. I need to wipe it off. Because I know the mirror is just a reflection back to me. I'm not arguing with the mirror. I can change the mirror. I can go to Home Depot, Lowe's, Wayfair, wherever else you choose to buy mirrors. You can buy 1,000 mirrors. They're all going to reflect the same thing. Because I can't see myself, so I need something to reflect into that shows me my true identity. I may not like it, but it's truth. You see, we were made to reflect or to be the image of Christ. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 says that we were made in his image. That word image there is translated so many other times as the word idol. Now, when we think of idol, we don't think of it in a positive term. We think of idol as bad, something that shouldn't be worshipped, or we think of the term idolatry, which is, an abomination. It's wrong. We shouldn't practice idolatry. But in reality, in this context, the word idol is simply meaning a representation or a reflection of something representative of something that is unseen. Now, God is a spirit. You can't see God. So when God created man in his image, he created the reflection of himself in man. And that was the desire. And so we are the idols of Christ, idols of God. Now, we're not God, but we're reflecting him, or we should reflect him. Now, the problem was, if you go back again, the image became marred. Man messed it up in the garden, and that image became marred by sin. And the things of this world mar the image. But ultimately, it's our desire to reflect Christ. We talked about this last week on Tuesday Talks, about the idea of becoming Christ-like, of being more like Jesus Christ. What does that mean? And he does things in our life. He shapes our life. He brings correction and rebuke and challenge so that we can become more like him. But what does that look like? The problem is, if you don't have the right image in front of you, you can get the wrong impression. So, for example, a lot of us, we talked about this last week, and this is why it's so important, that if your image that you're reflecting back at yourself is you want to be a better version of you. A lot of people say, I want to better myself. I want to get better. Well, that may sound great within the context of motivation, inspiration, better employee, better coworker, better boss, whatever that might be. You might be better at a skill, maybe better at your hobby. And within that context, okay, yeah, that might work. But when we're talking about my spiritual man and being a reflection of Jesus Christ, the problem is I can't compare myself against myself, because that creates a flawed reflection. Because I'm reflecting or comparing myself against a flawed image. The person I used to be is not a good person. That person was marred by sin, by failure, by struggle. So if I reflect against that image, it can appear as if I am growing. And yes, I can be growing, but based off what? And so the problem is, if all I ever compare myself is to my old self, I can get a false sense of growth. We talked about that last week, that the importance of not even using your own self as a comparison to your own spiritual growth. But to a greater extent this week is that the Bible talks about we're the image of Christ, meaning that when I reflect back to myself, I should be reflecting back who he is in my life. When I look into the mirror of my soul, the reflection back to me should be him. I need something to compare it to. He's the only one to compare it to. You see, if I need to change, it's not the mirror that's the problem. If I need to change, it's not God's problem. I don't need to go switch another God. You see, the problem is when you look into the image of Jesus Christ and you don't like what you see, a lot of people, they don't change themselves. They just switch reflections. So they reflect back to themselves because they're better than they used to be. So I don't really need to change. Or they look around at other people and go, wow, that person's not so good. I'm a lot better than them. So, hey, I don't need to change. But when you look at the picture, the beauty of Christ, and that's what I'm reflecting back, then I can see the places in my life that need to change. It's not a God problem. The change isn't his problem. God, this is not fair. God, you're judging me. No, he's not judging me at all. He's just reflecting himself to me, and I'm supposed to be that reflection of him. So if I need adjustment, I need change, it's not God's problem. But see, there's another side to this as well, because, okay, let's just say, for example, you do know that you're supposed to be the reflection of Christ. You do know you're supposed to be that. And so you've got the image of Christ through his word, through his word in you, through teaching and training. You're trying to reflect him in your life. You've got that part. Here's the problem with that. My grandfather was a photographer in the Navy. And my dad took up photography and followed in my grandfather's footsteps. And so my dad became a very avid photographer, especially when I was a child. Everywhere we went, every vacation, it was built around pictures, and we would stop. We would go on vacation. We'd stop every few feet, and we'd take a picture. It felt that way, at least. And my dad loved to take this one particular picture. He loved to take a picture of water, whether it was a pond or a small lake, where the water was so perfectly clear and still and picturesque that when you looked at the reflection of the sky and the trees on the water, and you could take the picture at the perfect angle, when the picture got developed, you couldn't really tell which was the actual horizon and what was the reflection in the water. You couldn't really tell the difference between the real sky and the reflected sky. You couldn't really tell the difference between the real trees and the reflected trees. You got an absolutely perfect image that mirrored itself top and bottom because the water was perfectly still. You see, if we're going to be the image of Christ and the true image of Christ, that's step number one, right? We have to know that I can't be the person I'm trying to reflect against. I can't use my old self as the reflection point because I'm going to get a false sense of growth. I'm going to get a false sense of achievement. I'm better than I used to be. I'm not the bad guy, bad woman, bad man I used to be. I'm better. Okay, maybe you've improved, but are you still who God wants you to be? Are you still the image of Christ? No. And then we also know you can't use others. So we've got that, right? We've eliminated those. Now we have the idea that we're supposed to be the image of Christ. We're supposed to be his image bearer. Discipleship in Jesus Christ is built around this idea that we are supposed to be like him, reflect him, be his image. But here's the problem even with that, if you're not careful, that you can get a rippled or distorted image of Christ if your life is not walked in peace and contentment. I discovered last year, beginning of I was into 2019, I finally went and got an eye exam at 39 years of age. I had never thought I had eye problems, and I started noticing that things weren't quite as clear, and I'd do the self-examined eye test. I'd cover the eye up, and I'd ask my wife, "Can you see that? Can you read that?" And she'd like, "Yeah." And I go, "Man, that doesn't look so clear anymore." So finally she talked me in. She goes, "You need to go have your eyes checked." So I'm like, "I don't need to have my eyes checked. I have great, I can see. Because I've been able to see my entire life. So no big deal." She's like, "Look, just go get your eyes checked." So finally, after persuasion, I'm not the most easy guy to live with. So finally, after some persuasion, I went and got my eyes checked. And lo and behold, I got the fantastic news that I needed glasses. And I finally went, picked out a pair of glasses and got them done and then came back. And I remember when I went to get my glasses and I tried them on for the very first time. Wow. I couldn't believe what I was seeing because I didn't realize that leaves are on trees. I didn't realize that that tree actually has leaves. I didn't realize that the trees around me had become sort of this blurred mess. That it was just this sort of blur of green. I could still kind of make out there was leaves, and my mind tells me there's leaves, but I couldn't see it. When I put those glasses on, I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. Look at that tree. I stared. I honestly, I found myself just standing there staring at trees because I couldn't believe the detail on the leaves. You see, what I was seeing to me was clear, but that wasn't really what was there. I needed some corrective lenses. I needed a way to make sure the image was correct. You see, you might be seeing the image of Christ as your benchmark to be his image bearer, but if you don't see the clarity and you don't see, the Bible talks about we see through a glass opaquely. Hurt can be that opaqueness. My surroundings can be that opaqueness. My pride, my self-will. Go through the list. My unforgiveness. All these things can create an opaque image where I can sit here today and go, well, of course I'm reflecting the image of Christ, but the image I'm reflecting is not the clear image that who he is. I'm reflecting a distorted image. And so back to the pond, right? My dad used to take these pictures of the perfectly clear pond where you couldn't tell up from down. The only way for that to happen is it had to be perfectly still. The Bible talks about in Psalms, be still. Be still. I wonder if that part of that is that we have to walk in peace, contentment. These things that God is working on us. He's working on us. He's working on our hurts, our past, our pains, our reliance on him, our will, all these things. Why? So that he can just have his thumb on us and go, okay, you're going to listen to me. You're going to follow me. You're going to do what I say because I'm God. And that's exactly what I told you to do. And if you don't do what I'm telling you to do, you're going to have a problem with me. And if you don't listen, you're going to burn crispy for all of eternity. Or is it possibly that he's doing these things so that the more he does them in my life, the clearer he is to me? The more I see him, and the more I see him, the more I can shape my life to be like him. You see, if that's the case, if that's really what it's about, then it's easy for me to say, Lord, whatever you want to do in my life, however you want to change me, do it. Whatever you want to take me through, whatever you want to use in my life to bring the image of you clearer to me. How about this? Whatever you want to show me. Some of us don't want to read this book because we're afraid of what it's going to tell us. It's going to tell us about us. It's going to tell us the fact that maybe my opinion isn't right, that his word says that he's this way. And therefore, if he's that way, then I need to change to reflect him in this manner, not in my opinion. Everybody has an opinion. How do we know the true nature of Christ? Because it's not my opinion. It's what does he say here? What does his word say he is? He's gentle, he's meek, he's kind, he's long-suffering, he's patient. All these things that he says about him, those aren't opinions. Those are facts found in the Word of God. And so if I'm going to reflect him, I got to reflect the things this Word says. That's why it's important for me to hide his Word in my heart. So today when you walk by a mirror, or tomorrow when you get up in the morning and you stand at your mirror, maybe in that moment, let the Holy Ghost remind you that while you're trying to reflect the best version of you before you go to work or you go out or to make sure you're presentable or you stop at the store and you wash your hands in the bathroom and you look at yourself and you go, okay, well, I didn't realize the wind really blew my hair, or maybe my clothes have really gotten wrinkled, or in that moment, there can be a still small voice that says, don't forget that I have a mirror too. That the same amount of time you spend in the mirror reflecting who you are as a human being is the same time we need to take daily and multi-daily times checking that same mirror of Christ. How many of you wake up on Sunday morning and you look at the mirror? Sunday morning, right? You put yourself together, you get dressed Sunday morning. I've got to get the mirror. Okay, good. And then, okay, good. Sunday morning's over. I don't need to look in the mirror the rest of the week. I go to work, I go out, go to dinner, go to parties, wherever I go. I don't need it anymore. I already looked at the mirror Sunday. I don't need it in the mirror. But my goodness, we look at a mirror every day, multiple times a day. Trust me. You go to a store, you walk by the mirror section, Almost everybody looks. You know, you sneak a look. Ooh, I look good today. Ooh, I don't look so good today. Ooh, I'm losing weight. Ooh, I do need to lose weight. We see these things because the mirror is reflecting back, and so we sneak a look. Now, I know some of you are like, I'm not that vain. I never look in the mirror. You're one of the 1%ers. God bless you. But for the other 99% of us, we look in mirrors. So there's nobody that I know of that only looks in the mirror Sunday morning and goes, oh, I look good. Okay, I don't need anything else the rest of the week. You're going to look in the mirror Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, Sunday night, Monday morning, Monday when you get to work, Monday when you go to the bathroom at work. When you leave work, you're going to look at the mirror. When you get home, you're going to look at the mirror. You're going to steal a look in the rear view mirror of your car. You're going to steal a look in the reflection of your window when you get in your car. When you get home, you're going to look at yourself. When you go out, you're going to look at yourself. You're going to keep looking at yourself because you want to make sure that your image stays intact all day. When you get home at night and before you go to bed, you're going to make sure you do the necessary things to set yourself up tomorrow for the image you want to be. You're going to brush your teeth. You may put curlers in your hair. You may straighten your hair. You may comb your hair. You may wash your hair and look in the mirror. Because tomorrow morning when I get up, I want to make sure I'm ready for the day and I'm ahead of the game with the image I want to be. But I wonder if we took that same idea, that same passion, that same mentality in the spiritual world. Because you know what, for most of us, we take a look in the mirror on Sunday, because we call that God's day. This is church. We look in the mirror, and then we don't spend any other time the rest of the week looking in the mirror. Or maybe we get up in the morning, we steal a quick 5-minute glance. Oh, there we go, 5 minutes later. There we go. Oh, let's pick a good, how about this? Psalms 150. This is a good place. Praise ye the Lord. Praise God in the sanctuary. Praise him in the firmament of his power. That was a good quick glance in the mirror. Now I'm off to do my thing, and I never take another look again. So next time you go wash your hands, you get up in the morning, you go to bed at night, you look in that mirror. Ask yourself, when's the last time I checked the spiritual mirror? Oh, I did it Sunday. Well, okay. When's the last time you did it today? Is it the first thing you do when you get up in the morning? Is you check that spiritual mirror? God, I want to reflect you today. Is there anything in my heart, my life today that doesn't reflect you? If so, God, I want to get those things straight right now before I do anything. I want to reflect you. At night, before you go to bed, Lord, I'm asking you right now, do it, forgive me. Forgive me for the things I did today. Forgive me the things I didn't do today. Forgive me, Lord, for the areas of my life that I walked contrary to your will and your way for me today. Lord, restore the image. Psalms 23 says he restoreth our soul. He's bringing us back to the image. Sin, life, this world is trying to mar that image. Satan's trying to mar that image. He lost his opportunity to be that image, and so he's trying to pull you and I down the same hole he's in. So how many times are you going to take a moment this week and reflect? You might carry a little compact mirror like this. Maybe you even carry a little flip-up compact mirror in your purse or your bag, and you take a quick glance, making sure you're right, making sure everything looks good. How many times do you do that spiritually? Because I'm telling you right now, if you only looked at yourself on Sundays and then you didn't look in the mirror the rest of the week and you came back the next Sunday, the problem is you might look okay because every Sunday, that's the only time you ever see yourself. So according to you, I'm good. But you don't see yourself on Wednesday when your hair is all over the place, your clothes are wrinkled, you got breakfast on your right cheek, dinner from last night on your left cheek, you got stuff in your teeth, but you don't know that because you haven't looked in the mirror. So you feel like you look great because I saw myself Sunday and I looked good on Sunday. Wednesday, you look like a train wreck. But I don't see myself Wednesday, so it's okay. I feel justified. I feel okay. And then when Sunday comes along, I get myself all cleaned up, put myself in the mirror and go, boy, Joel, you're doing amazing, man. Sunday, you looking good. Keep it up, buddy. Man, you're like God's first cousin. You're doing awesome. But you see me on Thursday, and I look like a train wreck. My life's a mess. No peace, no joy, no happiness, no commitment. But I never noticed that because I'm never taking time to check the mirror. Not once a week, not twice a week, but multiple times a day. I want to see the mirror. I want to look in the mirror. God, check me. David prayed it this way. Lord, search me. Try me. My heart, my thoughts, my mind. Don't let there be anything in me I want to check the mirror real quick, God. I've got 5 minutes in the car on my way to Walmart. God, I want you to check me right now. Check my heart, my mind, my motives, my thoughts. I want to look in the mirror. God, is there anything right now that I'm getting a quick glance at that I need to change? And I might do a little adjustment and come back after I leave Walmart because somebody cut in line and I wasn't happy. Or I got gypped. Or they were out of what I needed. And I get in that car and I go, okay, God, I need to do a quick mirror check. Would you just help me? Because this attitude is not reflecting you. You say, that's ridiculous. No one can live like that. Okay, well then get rid of all your mirrors in your house and live that way. Because if you can take time to look in the natural mirror, you should take time to look in the spiritual mirror. But that spiritual mirror needs to be clear, not one distorted by fear, worry, doubt, unforgiveness, pride, will, all the things that can make the mirror look distorted. And you can get a distorted image of yourself. It needs to be clear, peaceful, so that you can see who he really is, so you can become more like him. The world is looking for authentic. The world is looking for real. We need to be the real and authentic representations of Jesus Christ to this world. The only way you and I can do that is we've got to do some mirror checks. We've got to look in that mirror every day. We've got to spend time in that mirror every day saying, God, change me, change me, change me. God bless you. Thank you once again for watching Tuesday Talks. It's always a blessing to have you take a moment and to stop by and watch this. If you've been blessed or challenged, why don't you take a moment and share this with somebody that you feel like can be challenged and blessed with this as well. We're here every Tuesday, right here on YouTube, Antioch West, and also Sunday morning at 10 a.m. God bless you. Hope you have a wonderful week. Come back and see us again. When you get done this video, why don't you stop? Grab a mirror. Say, God, I need a quick check in the mirror. Show me who I am. God bless you. See you again next time.